Hi, I'm Claire and I recently spent a week living in Ireland in a camper van to answer the question, should I rent a camper van in Ireland? Or is it worth it to rent a camper van in Ireland? Or whatever version of that question is best for search engine optimization. I watch a lot of van life content on YouTube and I wanted to know, is it the same in Ireland or different? Is it as good as it looks? Or a lot worse? I got in touch with a company called Bunk Campers and asked them if they could loan me a camper van to drive around Ireland for the weekend, and they were very positive about the idea, unlike my husband when he heard about it. I'm not going to crash or cry. I'm not! What's your bet?
I would say you'll reverse into something.
No, I won't, Alex, because then I have to pay for it.
Or clip the corner, because you're not used to driving a van.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to ring you crying. I will miss you, but me and Millie are going to have a great time without you.
And will you look after Millie properly and not let her run away?
Yes, I promise.
You'll probably ring crying about that when she runs away.
No, Alex, don't add that.
Nice driver's seat. Got your armrest going on. Very nice.
Jealous?
Jealous that you're not going to be working for the weekend.
Excuse me, this is work.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm going to show you our house now. Our home for the next week. This is the cockpit. This is where all the magic happens. And then this is how it looks from the cockpit. So we've got Millie in that seat there. There's a table there that can come across. And so you can sit there and you can eat and work away. And I might do that later, but just for now, that's Millie's seat. Then we come over here and we've got cupboards. And I've put some easy to make food in here. Pasta sauce and pasta, and I've got the dog food, and I still have yet to do a proper grocery shop. They gave me pots and pans, and they gave me like cups and saucers and things like that. Then there's a fridge here, and I have no food yet to put in the fridge. Ooh, cool, there's a hob here. And then under this one I imagine is a sink. Yep, there's my massive water bottle. Thanks, Penny's Finest. These are the lights, so you can turn them on and off. Then I've got all my stuff put away and they're like childproof locks so things don't go flying all the time. And there's Ellie chilling. Then I've got my map. So this is how I'm going to plan what I'm going to do for the next couple of days. This is part of it. Scratchable map, Ireland. I thought it was kind of dinky little Volkswagen Nomad this week. When I got there, it turns out I was being given the Fiat Aero. Yellow red. The reason I was like, actually, yeah, do you know what, I will take the Fiat Aero is because this one's the toilet. So, turns out I don't have to worry about finding a toilet all week, which has actually changed the game. It's got a toilet and a sink and also a shower. The tap pulls out into a shower. You can put the shower head there and you can have a shower in the room as a whole. They gave me a full tank of water, full charge of electricity for the electrics and for the engine. So the engine's like a hybrid, it regenerates itself when you drive. So the electricity for the lights and heat and things like that, that needs to be recharged every 2 days. The guy at Bunk Campers was like, what's your itinerary? And I was like, oh, it's pretty loose. And he was like, that's the best way to be. Do you know what the weather's like? And I was like, man, I didn't even think to check the weather. First and foremost, I was delighted right off the bat with how good I was at driving it. First drive in the van done. I am good at driving. And I only got better and better at driving that thing throughout the week. Driving anywhere near close to speed limit, like on a motorway, is the edge of my comfort zone, I'd say. It's much more enjoyable to mosey. So somebody has parked very close behind me and somebody's parked very close in front. I appreciate the vote of confidence, boys. Look at all that space behind him there, and he chose to park up my fucking hole. And then this bastard in front then. Oops, I had the camera on 4K, so it overheated, and you didn't get me pulling out of that really tight spot and then doing a U-turn. So you're just gonna have to believe that I did it. At one point during the week, I did have to reverse the guts of a kilometre up a dirt road that just ended out of nowhere. I can do this, I believe in myself. But I did it with ease. Genuinely, if I can reverse the camper out of this, I can fucking do anything. Okay, so immediate teething issues off the bat. Millie's like not really settling, so I'm actually tempted to bring her home. The campers are doggy friendly, but it is a consideration as to what type of dog you have and if you have a dog that is amenable to roughing it, which my pretty princess was not. The single biggest teething issue that I had at the very start actually turned out to be the entire trip that I had planned. So the difficulty that I'm running into is that a lot of places are closed. So as I was already down in Limerick, I thought I'll take a step back, chill in Limerick for the night, replan my trip and go again tomorrow. Now I have to be honest and say the first night didn't go well. When I got there, the campsite was a bit rougher looking than expected. I'm a little nervous for my first night and I have it fully locked, and if anyone comes banging on my windows, I'm just going to drive away. Good morning. Tell me this and tell me no more now, Minnie. Do you happen to want to go outside? Yes. It's day one waking up in the camper. The YouTubers make this look amazing. I'm sure it's a lot busier in the on season of camping, and perhaps they are undergoing renovations. But yeah, it just sort of felt like a building site I wasn't really meant to be on. The next day I decided I was going to bring Millie home. This is the point at which the trip totally changed, because I began to do a thing that we Irish call following the fairies. I took my new itinerary and I threw it out the window and I said, do you know what? Why don't we just see what happens? Now in Ireland, on the motorways, we have these brown signs and they point to recreational and cultural heritage sites. And so on the way back to Dublin to drop Millie home, I spotted a sign on the motorway for the Dunamore Famine Workhouse Museum. And I had the first amazing experience of this whole road trip. I met Michael and his dog Lily, and he taught me all about the famine workhouse history. He sang me a song.
And I close my eyes when I'm singing, actually. It's just a habit I have, so I'm not going to sleep.
He recited poetry for me.
Sadness seeps from every wall. Horror howls in every hall.
It was an amazing experience, and I have the full video, dedicated video here, if you haven't watched that already.
If you behave yourself, I might make a cup of tea for you. I know this is alright.
That's alright?
I'm trying to stay out of it.
Michael not only single-handedly turned my day around, but he also completely turned the trip around.
Thanks, Claire, for visiting.
Thank you, Michael. I've had a great time.
And I have to tell Claire now about where she can find all the different music sessions.
Definitely. Michael told me about a secret pub in Tipperary called Jim of the Mill. Jim of the Mill is a pub that's in a family's house that only opens on Thursdays, and you only hear about it by word of mouth. Michael did also recommend me a lake nearby to go visit before I left the area, which is what resulted in me having to reverse the guts of a kilometre. It's the only way to get to the lake, so no walkie, Millie, I'm sorry. I'd be disappointed too. But listen, I appreciate the reversing practice. All the recommendations can't be winners. Right, now where am I going? Need to figure that out. So then after that, I finished my trip back up to Dublin to drop Millie off and get some slagging from my husband. Would you like the honour of marking off what happened?
Yeah, for sure.
Yep, that happened. That didn't happen.
No.
That also happened.
You lost the dog.
Very briefly.
Where'd you lose the dog? How'd you lose the dog? You're so irresponsible.
I'd let Millie off the lead to play with Lily at the famine workhouse, and the two of them ran off together. And it's fine, they were back, like I'd say it was a minute they were gone and then they came back. But technically, I did lose the dog for a minute. Again, I have to be honest here, I got back to Dublin late, and so I just slept in my own bed. There's no rules in a campervan holiday. If you want to do a campervan holiday around the country and you decide that halfway through you want to book an Airbnb, that's up to you. Especially if it's a really cool Airbnb, like a boat. I kind of wish I had some zip pockets in case this key was flying. Or a bus. Or a castle. Okay, so Alex and I are going to try to do a shot where he sends the drone up, and by the time the drone gets up there, I'm up. I will do my best not to fall over yet. Okay, go. Oh my god, it's coming stairs. Oh my god. There's no rules here. As the trip wore on, I really started to get a feeling for how self-encompassing the campervan experience is. Like, for example, when I was at Jim of the Mills, I landed down after it was already dark, so I just parked up made myself some food, took a nap, then got up, put some makeup on and headed out to Jim of the Mills. So handy. Okay, so like, no joke, that actually was one of the best nights of my life. Something you need to know if you're renting a camper van in Ireland: caravans, campervans, etc. are never allowed to wild camp in Ireland. And so when you're renting a camper van in Ireland, you need to make sure that you're booking into a campsite every night. I went on my camper van trip in the off season, so there were a lot of campsites that were closed around the country. For example, after Jim of the Mills, I wanted to stay in a campsite called Streamstown Caravan Park. Great name. Are you ready to go to Streamstown? Get it? Streamstown? I'm going to use that clip to promote my live streams in future. Streamstown Caravan Park was closed in the off season. However, on their website it said email us. So I emailed them and she was like, yeah, no problem, I'll leave a key out for you. And so she left a key out for me. That'd be a tip for me now if you were doing a campervan holiday in Ireland. Don't let the closed sign stop you. Get in touch with the campsites directly and see if there's anything they can do for you. So even though Jim of the Mill did offer me to stay and have breakfast.
Oh God, you could have pulled in here and come in for the breakfast tomorrow morning. Yeah.
I did head off to Streamstown because they left the key out.
It's mosey in time. It ain't nothing but a mosey. Ain't nothing happening but mosey around here.
At Streamstown then, I finally emptied the chemical toilet, which wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Now I have to go do something I really don't want to do, which is empty the toilet chemicals. I really don't want to do this. But I learned the hard way. Do it at every campsite, because otherwise, PU. Oh, there's a key. Where are my keys? I am quite glad this place is empty, because otherwise they'd probably be like, what is that absolute nut job doing, filming yourself emptying a toilet? This is the side of van life they literally never show you in the videos. Okay, and the final step is to put in the toilet chemical. The next time you see an Instagram video of someone being all, oh, van life is so amazing, you just remember they have to empty out their own chemical toilets. I don't need to re-lock it, it is locked. But imagine you locked your keys in there. Oh, that would be very upsetting. Okay, I need to get in and wash these hands. You gonna wash these hands? Catch these hands? Tried to make it catch these hands, but it didn't really work.
Over the course of the week, I ended up very glad that I got in a camper van with a toilet in it. And that's because I'm a coffee drinker. And I'm sorry, I know that that's too much information, but sometimes you need to go to the toilet and you need to go quickly. And it was great to just be able to pull over, go to the bathroom, get back behind the wheel.
I haven't used toilet paper in the toilet because I'm not sure that you're allowed to put it down there. So there you go, there's my overshare of the day.
On my last day in the camper then, I successfully found the rock at Dune Mace. And I say successfully like that because I'd actually had a failed attempt to find it earlier in the week.
So I have just realised that this car park that I finally found for the rock of Dune Mace, there's the road I got stuck on. Like if I had just kept going, I actually would have come out into this clearing and then been able to go. But unfortunately I didn't. I panicked and reversed. So now, today, we can climb it.
And I'm really, really glad I went. It was really pretty. It was a really easy walk and I got loads of Instagram pictures.
That is some view, look at that.
And I got to fly my drone, which I very rarely do, because I'm afraid of it.
Jesus, I was sitting too close to it. No, I meant to go away from myself, holy fuck.
I always turn it the wrong way. These controls are incredibly counterintuitive.
Whee! That's way too fast, that footage is unusable.
Let's get a shot of the camper.
Jesus, that's far away.
Uh-oh, it's disconnected. How do I get it down then?
It's landing itself, is it?
Okay, we gotta go run after it, I guess.
Please come back to me. Oh, that was so fucking stressful. I'm using my tripod as a giant selfie stick. Anyway, you got enough of an idea there, look, hang on. Thumbnail.
Fun fact, there are no toilets at the Rock of Dune Mace. Despite there being public outcry, the council said no. I read up all about this. This is something that you might find at a lot of these heritage and cultural sites around the country, and it's where having a camper van comes in so handy. It did mean I had to come back home and clean it out at home again before returning the camper. So I had the camper van toilet all cleaned out, and then on my way back on my final day I had coffee like an idiot, and then I had a bathroom emergency. So now I'm in my back garden emptying the toilet down my own drain. This is what van life influencers don't tell you, how really up in your own business you need to get. You need to get real hands-on with your own excrement. Millie, get in. So all in all then, is it worth getting a camper van in Ireland? I could have followed the ferries for a very long time if I'd had the camper for longer. I was getting recommendations at every place I was going for other things that were happening weeks into the future. However, I would advise it's always good to have a base plan in case following the ferries doesn't work out for you. There is obviously more stuff open in the on-season. However, the stuff that is open in the off-season is much quieter, and you'll get a much more one-on-one experience like I did with Michael in the Dune Mace famine workhouse. Parking in the camper was surprisingly easy, and I was surprisingly good at driving it. So I will say I did get the impression there are certain places where people don't really want the camper. Oh God, hello? Oh sorry, yeah.
Lorry's coming in, you say.
Right, gotta move. I have to say I find it a little hard to believe that there were lorries coming in where I was parked there. It's 6:30 at night and it's pitch dark. I don't believe you. Wild camping is not allowed in Ireland, not in a camper van. You have to book in to a campsite every night that you have the camper van with you in Ireland. On the bright side, doing this means you can empty your chemical toilet, charge your camper van, change your water, etc, etc. Bunk Campers actually provided me with everything I needed, from a kettle to pots and pans to plates and cups and cutlery. I would definitely recommend choosing those options when you're renting your camper van, because it saved me having to bring all those things or buy all those things. You do have to buy your own groceries. However, in my week traveling in Ireland, I realized that a lot of our petrol stations actually have a lot of the basics that you need to live in a camper van. So at any point, if I ran out of something, I didn't even need to find a supermarket that was open. I just go to a 24-hour garage. And sure, you're there putting diesel in anyway. Super handy. In addition to this is that I would strongly recommend Febreze.
Febreze, I need Febreze. This bathroom. #1 tip for van life, Febreze.
So say for 7 days, what we're talking about is a cost of this much for the van, this much for the liability reduction. That's around what you're looking at for a week of a camper van holiday in Ireland, with all your bits and bobs included, like your utensils and that sort of stuff. Diesel, depending on how much you're driving, and campsites. So hopefully that's answered any question you may or may not have about campervanning in Ireland. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed campervanning in Ireland. Thank you so much to Bunk Campers for giving me that camper for a week. I had the best time. I made some of the content that I'm most proud of in the last couple of years out of that trip. The Gym of the Mills video and the Dune Mace famine workhouse video. Please watch those if you haven't watched those already. I haven't stopped my travelling around the country, don't worry. Next week's video is going to be a trip down to Kerry, where I learned about a lighthouse keeper that got replaced by solar power. I want to say a big thank you to my patrons who fund trips like these and make it possible for me to make this content. Over on Patreon, I offer some exclusive content as benefits for my patrons. Things like free digital downloads, a merch discount, blooper videos, extra vlogs, and members only live streams. If you're not in a position to support my channel, I do have a Ko-fi where you can buy me a coffee to say you like the videos. And if you're not in a position to do that, the best and freest thing that you can do to support me is to just like and share my videos. YouTube's algorithm doesn't always tend to reward the kind of content that I make, and so sharing it with your friends really, really helps me out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Slán slán.